Well, that's what it feels like tonight. Let's go down to Atlanta, where the debate, of course, is taking place. It will air right here at 8 o'clock on 95.7 FM KCMO, a guy who is at the center of it. Our next guest, Erick Erickson, joining us, host of the nationally syndicated Erick Erickson Show. And, of course, he is based right there in Atlanta, Georgia. Erick, what is the pulse on the ground as your town gets set for tonight?
Well, we're all stuck in traffic as the Secret Service has already moved in. None of us can get anywhere. We're going to starve to death. It's like Snowpocalypse from 2014, but hot.
So wait, what is it? Just the debate that has the traffic all backed up? Is it just Atlanta like normal? What else is going on?
So we have Atlanta in the middle of a heat wave with the U.S. men's Olympic team about 5 blocks down the street from where the debate will happen.
Oh.
So here's the thing: like my flagship radio station, WSP in Atlanta, has an army of helicopters to survey the traffic. They're all grounded starting at 1 p.m. And at 2 p.m., the Secret Service is turning off all of the DOT cameras around Atlanta so you can't see the cameras to figure out where wrecks are. So no one's going to be able to get anywhere in the city today. It's the governor in Georgia is begging companies to let employees either leave work early or just not go to work today. It's going to be a disaster.
Wow. Okay. So there's already a lot happening there on the ground. So speaking of just things happening there, yesterday, Donald Trump had a round table at a black barber shop in Atlanta. How legitimate of a play is there in that state in particular for black voters, and does it actually make political sense for Donald Trump in Georgia?
I don't think Democrats should be dismissive of this phenomenon because Donald Trump got around 7 or 8% of the black vote in 2020. If he gets to 12%, that's enough to stop Biden in a close race. And Brian Kemp was able to do it in Georgia with the black vote, with an economic message and, frankly, a crime message as well in 2022 against Stacey Abrams. There is an impetus in Georgia, particularly suburban Atlanta, for black voters because of crime and economic issues to move to the right. The polling suggests it's a real phenomenon, and he's got a very favorable group of African-American men who are known in the community who've decided to come out and support him.
Really? So really people known at the grassroots, not just like, hey, here's Herschel Walker.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's really got like grassroots Atlanta's black small businessmen who are encouraging people to vote for him. So, and again, he's not going to get a majority. He's probably not even going to get 25%. But if he gets above 10%, I mean, Joe Biden, if you don't believe it was stolen, won Georgia by 11,000 some odd votes. That's 11,000 some odd votes right there.
Wow. I mean, gosh, I forgot how close it was. 11,000 votes out of how many? Millions?
Millions. Okay.
Gosh, that is unbelievable. Erick Erickson is here, his show, nationally syndicated, based out of Atlanta, joining us where the debate takes place tonight. I'm curious, what is CNN's presence in that town, in that state at large? Are they like a known business commodity down there, or are they just another operation?
It's kind of sad. For decades, CNN had a big CNN center. You could see their logo lit up at night across the city downtown. They sold that property, and they've moved everything to New York. But Turner Broadcasting's headquarters is still in Midtown Atlanta, right across from Georgia Tech. It's right on the interstate. Everybody can see it. There's still a lot of CNN and Turner employees in town, and they still make themselves known. So it's a smaller property. It's actually back in the building that Ted Turner started CNN in. And they're kind of revitalizing that property in Midtown Atlanta, an up-and-coming gentrified area of the city. So it's known and it's going to be visible. And the problem is it's right on the interstate, and the Secret Service isn't going to want people driving past it tonight.
Yeah. Is it fair to say, Erick Erickson, that right now Donald Trump leads in Georgia, and also he can't win this election without Georgia's electoral votes?
He needs Georgia to win it. They've got 16 now, but he's ahead. And the problem for Joe Biden is Laken Riley, the college student who was murdered in Athens, Georgia by an illegal alien. His polling shifted dramatically in Georgia after that, and it's never come back. I mean, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution has a pretty good polling operation. They've been very accurate the last few elections. Their latest polling has Donald Trump leading outside the margin of error, even as a majority of the people surveyed said the conviction was fair.
Wow. Okay. And you think it's really immigration because of the Lake and Riley story, even more so than maybe all the economic woes and inflation?
Oh, when you ask people, their top two issues, and they're almost tied, are inflation and immigration, and they kind of play together. We've got grocery prices are so high, people don't feel safe in their neighborhoods, and that plays here in Georgia as well. When you have a story like Lake and Riley, it amplifies it in communities, and in particular, you saw progressive activists in the state be dismissive of it as this could happen to anyone, and the reaction of the left to Lake and Riley's murder it hurt Joe Biden in the state, in addition to all of the economic news people are struggling with. Grocery and gas prices in the Southeast are way higher than they were 3 years ago.
The suburban districts there in the greater Atlanta area, I mean, like many suburban districts have kind of shifted towards Democrats over the last couple of cycles. Are you seeing some of that shift back the other way? And is that your traditional upper middle class educated white voter, or is it someone else or something else that's going on?
It is. It's upper middle class white voters in the suburbs. Cobb and Gwinnett County, they're the two counties north of Atlanta, the northeast and the northwest. They've trended pretty dramatically Democrat. Gwinnett County, probably the most diverse county in the nation right now and very large. And what we're finding is that some of the suburban white voters are moving back enough to move the needle. I mean, for example, Ed Stetzler is a name you wouldn't know, but he authored the fetal heartbeat legislation in Georgia. His state Senate district was the most expensive state Senate district race in the entire United States because pro-abortion activists decided they needed to beat him, and Stacey Abrams had won the district in 2018. He won the district with a majority of the black vote. You're seeing this conservative push back to the right, and he ran by talking about crime and the economy and got a majority of the black vote in a district that had voted for Stacey Abrams.
If you're Donald Trump, and as this relates to Georgia, Erick Erickson, does the play make more sense for, say, black men? I mean, suburban women? Is it a message that resonates with all of them? How does he approach that? How would you approach that?
For black men, it's jobs. For white women, it's 401ks and their kids. Moms don't feel like their kids are safe going off to college, and are their kids going to get a good job? The economic crime message together, he can weave those in, and he's been doing a good job of it. And Brian Kemp is not a fan of Donald Trump. Brian Kemp admitted on CNN that he didn't vote for Trump in the Republican primary. Trump, of course, hates him, but Kemp has promised to rally his ground game to get out votes for Donald Trump in the suburbs, and that's actually really big because Kemp has the best ground game in the state.
And he is a very popular governor down there, right?
Yes, 60% of Democrats give him favorable job approval ratings. It's a hugely popular governor.
Wow. Okay. And he says that he will help Donald Trump in that state win the state of Georgia with his ground game. That's big.
Yeah, it really is. Biden needs to focus on Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania because I don't see him winning Georgia. Even with the ground game, people are just furious with him in the state because of the economy, crime, and immigration.
In Atlanta in particular, I know you alluded to it earlier, but some people still do have questions about what happened in that state last time around. Is that at all something that you think those of us or just listeners in Kansas City should actually be thinking about? Or, give us the ground perspective on that. Is everything going to be on the up and up?
Yeah. Look, there are always shenanigans, and frankly, both sides engaged in it. That's kind of one of the stories that got missed. But I think that it's not going to be as close this time. And if it's not close, it's harder for anybody to say it was stolen. I do think you're going to see this dramatic shift towards Donald Trump in Georgia, and it's not going to matter. I think the Democrats will be the ones saying it was stolen this time.
All right. Well, Erick Erickson, I hope you can do your show remotely tonight. If not, it sounds like you're going to get stuck in some madness on the roads.
It's going to be the Donner Party all over again.
Erick Erickson, nationally syndicated radio host based right there in Atlanta. Erick, thanks for the time on a busy morning. We appreciate you on KCMO.
Thanks so much.